and where you from. Represent, brother. My man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Can you hear me, T?
Yeah, I can hear you good. Loud and
You
clear. Yep.
okay? Copy you. Okay, copy that. Yo, how we doing, folks? This is Timothy Mathews. As he said, very, very proud, born and raised West Sider, for real. Um, so about me, I did 1 year at Western Michigan and finished up my college career over at Columbia College, downtown Chicago. During my time at Columbia, I did a shitload of interns. I always stayed busy. I interned from everywhere from Sony Music to George's Music Room, where I ended up working. Shit. Um, I interned also at the House of Blues, and where I also ended up working. Um, what else should you know about that? Right after I graduated, I was one of the few people who was blessed to actually get a job out of college. So I worked at Warner Brothers Records. Actually, we had distribution. So I was on the distribution side. From there, I went right into working for Bacardi USA before they went over to Works. So I worked for the on-premise aspect of things, nightlife, throwing parties, things like that. Then I kind of like just went into regular job mode for a while, actually a long while. And this is kind of like my second act. I've been in TV since 2020. In all actuality, if it wasn't for the pandemic, I wouldn't even be in the position I'm in. Um, 2019, I was trying to move and establish my life out in Vegas, which would take me to LA. And from that standpoint, when the pandemic happened, I came back home. And then I had a chance meeting with a woman named Natasha Parker from AMC Television. And she gave me the opportunity to work as location scout. And for people that are not familiar with the business, normally how it works is that you start on the front line. You normally start as what they call location assistant or production assistant. So LFP, that's where your first start is. I skipped all of that and went from that to location scout. So what that means is I'm the guy that the studio sends the scripts to. I read it, break it down, and I try to find the right locations that fit for each scene. As far as my accomplishments, I did 2 seasons with a television show, which was my first television show called 61st Street. It's executive produced by some guy named Michael B. Jordan, and I was very
Wow.
proud of that because that was a big project. And I must have did good work from there because this business is kind of built on not just who you know, but if they like you, and also you do hard work. So uh, the Shy came calling me season 5,
Wait, wait,
and I've been there
wait,
for the
hold on,
last
hold
three
on.
seasons.
I don't mean to cut your wisdom off, but before you get to that, I want you to rewind it a little bit because uh, for people who don't know, like this journey seemed like it just came easy. It wasn't no build up. I want to like show the build up to how you came to where you were about to explain to where you at now. So okay, like I said, you coming up west side of Chicago. Um, how did you started uh get into the music business? Like how did you start working for George, the legendary George
Okay.
Daniels? For those who don't know, if you don't if you know anything about mom and pops uh uh businesses, anything in the music store scene was heavy in Chicago with the mom and pops. George's Music Room is probably one of the most legendary uh record store in America. If you had to get the music
Right.
early, if you wanted to see the artist, anything, they came to George's Music Room. Anybody who in the business knows George's Music Room. He helped a lot of people, him and his wife. So how did you start off working for Uncle G? Let us know that.
Okay, so we'll try not to go too far back to build up to that, but my first love is music.
Okay.
I was a singer before I got into anything else, and then I used to write poetry a lot. You know what I mean? It turned into songs. So at one point I wanted to just be a performer, which is how I ended up at Western and Columbia. Um, and regarding George, I used to be a part of this organization. Shout out to Columbia College. They allowed us to create an organization called CUMA, Columbia's Urban Music Association.
Mm,
And
okay.
I studied George.
Yes, sir. Shout out to them, man. I remember them.
Let it fit.
They
Let
major, major.
so a lot of great people came from that organization too. You know what I'm saying? So very happy to be proud of one of the founding members. But
Mm,
we needed a mentor for our organization, and we approached George Daniels, and he became a mentor for the organization
wow.
as far as helping us not only just get sponsorship, but also like just coming to speak to us, as well as giving us insight on organizational structure.
Dope.
So I am always forever grateful for George. And I tell him that all the time. He calls me his son, or he calls me his music son when
That's
he
dope.
sees me. But like that's my guy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Uh, and as far as working for him, of course I approached him for a job. So I was working at weekends, bro, like forever.
I
I
remember.
was always there on the weekends. Yeah,
I
like
remember.
Friday to Saturday. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Maybe some Sundays. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I've met a lot of people from George. You know what I'm saying? Be to George. So then George actually played an instrumental part in me taking my first job after college.
Okay.
I worked, like I said, I worked at Via Distribution.
Okay.
And again, music is not different from television from the standpoint of who you know, right? So obviously they could have hired somebody more seasoned, but they took a chance on me, and I was Midwest retail representative.
Okay.
So that position meant that I was going to all the retailers. The
Crazy.
influence since I was doing urban music a lot, I was dealing with all the black retailers and pushing the Warner umbrella. You know what I'm saying? So Warner, of course, meant like Madonna, Lenny Kravitz. You know what I'm saying? Some
Okay.
jazz up in there, Brian Colson.
Okay.
Atlantic, of course, was at that time. You had JT trying to come out with a new album. Trick Daddy was still around. Old Terror Squad catalog.
Okay.
Fat Joe, of course. And Electra was, the baby, you know what I'm saying? Because, he left to go to Death Row and then went over to, I think, J Records. Busta Rhymes was the man over there. So I I created a lot of great relationships from that time.
Okay.
Um, and as far as George is concerned, a lot of people don't know this, but the reason why he was one reason why he was so influential, besides his incredible personality, as well as just his history. He's a big history book. Is the fact that he was the only independent retailer, as well as only two African Americans that sat on the board of NARM. That is the National Association of Retailers and Merchandisers. Now, back then,
Wow.
before everything became digital, they had juice. So when I say NARM had the president of Target, the president of Walmart, the president of like major distributions, you know what I'm saying, that CDs and tapes and vinyl used to go through. And George was the only independent. He represented the independent
Wow.
arm. You know what I mean? So he had a lot of clout. Like he had a lot of respect. You know what I'm saying? And
That's
that just
crazy.
wasn't in the urban game. So kudos to George. If you ever want to
Man.
sit down and learn about the history of music, you talk to George. Like for
Dead
real.
ass.
George is
Hey,
a part of my overall makeup. George is part of my overall makeup. Yeah.
that's why I got to tell you. That's why I got to tell you a story about George and how he looked out for me so it's like in a way that nobody else would have did, and it was all pretty much through our association with you. Now,
Oh,
now,
word.
that's why I say this why this interview mean a whole lot because this is my brother, y'all. Like I've been knowing him for so many years. Like I was, like I know his whole family. I was his barber, so I know his first move, his last move, the chicks he was going to date, the chicks he was in love with. The chick I know a lot about the man. We got history. So when I went to George's
Yes.
music, I was in barber school, and I remember going to George's music room, and I was working in a barbershop and going to barber school. But I heard that EPMD was at George's music room. So I'm like going crazy, man. I'm like, I gotta get up there, man. I gotta get up there. I gotta meet these peoples, blase, blase. Gotta get through this door. Gotta meet them. Now, George, they see me a lot coming up there, and I come up there and I speak to Tim because he worked on the weekends. So I come up there and I chop it up with him. So
Yeah.
this one time, man, they had EPMD up there, and he told me they was telling people nobody can get in. It's over with. They shut it down. whatever, whatever. I'm running up there, I'm sweating. I might have caught the shawl to get there too. I might have caught the bus. I get there, I'm sweating crazy. I got my barber bag. I'm like, George, let me in. I gotta see him, whatever, whatever. I just came from barber school. I know he's like, man, it's over with. I swear to God, he through our association, Tim, the man opened the gate up. He let me through, and and that really kicked off like a part of my hip hop history because me going in there, I get to meet. I Redman was introduced me to Eric Sermon, and then the ball rolled. And next thing you know, years later, I'm in Atlanta, and the whole circle come, and I end up signing with Def Squad. So it was just like it was huge, man. I'm talking about it was huge, and it was a big shot. And that was just one thing. My other part of my Chicago fame, you remember this when you got me on Jenny Jones. Yes, sir. Jenny Jones. For y'all who remember Jenny Jones, it was recorded, filmed out of Chicago. And this was like when it first started, it was hype. It was all the hype. This was talk shows, everything. This before reality TV shows, before the internet. It was like talk shows, Jerry Springer, Jenny Jones, before Ricky Lake, all this stuff. And Jenny Jones was blowing up, and he got me on as a celebrity judge for a gong show. And I'm talking about, oh man, look, Tim, they set the limo. I had dinner at Houston's. We balled out. We in the city, but Jenny took care of us though. But I remember that, man, and you looked out. That was all you, man. And that was you starting off, just starting your career.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, like my first love, which only my true talk was management. I still have an affinity for management as a whole, but I think it's evolved now where I can see myself being, if I'm not in the game as a producer or director or EP, then talent agent is probably where I need to be because it's about cultivating relationships. And when I did that for you, that was the early stages of me cultivating
Yeah,
relationships. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Just trying to sharpen my iron, if you will. You know what I mean? So um, yeah, man, I remember that because shortly after, the thing happened. So
yeah.
and Jenny was
Oh
never
yeah.
able to come back from that. So
Hey, hey,
we
look,
won't talk
I
about
gotta ask you another
it.
question. Did you ever? Because I remember the Bacardi thing when you worked for Bacardi. But did you ever
Yeah.
work for Frank Thomas?
Oh snap, bro! Oh my goodness, my life is a
Ah.
movie. Okay, so it's funny. So okay, I had a job as I said in the beginning, like every semester in school, I was doing something else. Tim Mathews stayed busy.
I
In my
remember.
last semester in college, I worked for Frank Thomas. Who remember me? I ran into him at a White Sox game in the suites last week.
Crazy.
I mean, last year. But he had a record label called Undeniable Records. Uh,
Yes. Yes.
I forgot the name. I forgot the name of the group. It's so embarrassing. But they had a hit song called "Page Me." Page man, hey,
Mm.
shout out to Slick. Slick is still my guy. We run into each other ever so often, and that man give me a big
Slick.
hug,
Yes,
man.
sir.
That's my guy for real. Man, you're making me back think about my music roots for real. But that was a great time in my life. Honestly, like there's so many great stories that come from
The
there.
build up.
There's not enough time on this, but like I feel like you probably want to do a part 2 of 3 with me. But
Oh yeah.
like um, what I'm into now, T, like there's so many levels to it. You know what I mean? And I'm very excited to be a part of not not just an Emmy nominated show, but a
Yeah, let's talk
show
about the
that
shine.
continues to grow.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy to be here. I was just with the cast, a few members of the cast. I was just with them and lyrical lemonade, some smash.
Okay.
I guess that's what they call it. So I
Yeah.
had some of them there. So like it's a blessing that my position allows for me to like also not just get paid well and not
Yeah.
just so see my stuff they pick on TV, but like I'm able to like finesse and what I'm saying, like take care of the production or take care of some of the actors. You know what I mean? Cultivating, like I said,
Yeah.
those relationships. You know what I mean? Like I want to see people happy overall. You know what I'm saying? And if it can help, like build a situation where we can, profit together, what I'm saying,
Yeah.
or just build a situation where I can push somebody to shine even more, I'm all for it.
I'm gonna tell you, you in a great, great situation because first of all, you Showtime is Showtime. We already know who they are, and you being from Chicago and attached to a show called The Shy, and being a location, come on, being in charge of location, that's crazy because you know the city ins and out, and you know how the field should look when it's on the screen. So I think that's
Yeah.
important that they hire people like you who know the city, know the ins and out, you know all the crevices, the nooks, the crannies. You're from the west side, so you know from the hood. You stayed downtown, so you know downtown, you know all that. So
Yeah.
you know the city. So for them to get people like you on the show, and I love the Shy. I might be too
Yeah.
critical on the Shy because it's the Shy, and I just like to see the representation of it, the Shy. So I might critique it harder than I do a Tyler Perry movie or a 50 Cent show because this is just
Right.
me. But for the most
Yeah.
part, uh, the locations and everything, it had me homesick, Tim. When I was living in Atlanta, and I seen the scenes, and I seen from the summer scenes to the winter scenes, I was getting homesick, and I was like, "That's Tim." That's Tim picking these. I knew you was picking on me, Tim. You was fucking with me, dog. Tell me,
Now,
uh,
I,
how was that going? And the next move, man.
so I want to talk definitely about like my apologies for
Okay,
the loudness, but what I want to talk about like it starts with me as far as my
okay,
position as location scout, but it's
right,
definitely a team effort. You know what I'm saying, to see it through.
yeah,
I learned a lot from Tasha Parker, who's still like a real mentor to me now,
okay,
and Brian Fairley, who was my boss over at the Shy, who also took the chance on me. You know what I mean?
mm,
When I started on the Shy, I need to talk about that. I started like from a PLA position, which meant that I was in charge of all the other location assistants. I
okay,
had no experience. I know how to run management, you know what I'm
right,
saying? But
right,
like as far as like ground level, knowing exactly where to place these LAs, you know what I mean? Like I didn't have that experience. So the
okay.
fact that he, allowed me to, learn, make mistakes, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
And I
yeah,
did a good
yeah,
job,
yeah,
where I did such a good job where the union guys told him, like, hey, don't promote him, don't let him go up, don't let him
yeah,
go back
right.
to the location. You know what I mean? So, but like when I have a problem, he definitely will talk to me about it. They'll also try to get me to understand the why, which is also they both did that very well. From like they always try to get me to understand like why am I making that decision?
Right.
Why am I picking
Right.
this place? Why am I bringing these options to the table? You know what I'm saying? So that is a part of the great education with this, and hopefully, rumblings are maybe next season I might move to assistant location manager. There's pros and cons with that, man. I
Okay.
won't talk about that, but I'm just saying like I've enjoyed this run as location scout. And eventually, T, you said what's next for me. I want to join the union. Like,
Oh yeah.
like I have to join the union. I want to join is the DGA, Directors Guild of America.
Okay.
So, and that I have to be in management positions to do so. So, and I have to be like three different productions or three different seasons. So, fingers crossed, I can get that because that brings a lot of good health care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not getting any younger. You know what I mean? So, men's health care, something I want. Um, and of course, my pay goes up, dramatically.
Damn
For
right.
unions anyway.
Damn right. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So, but also, like I'm hoping to, evolve from the standpoint of learning how to be a producer. Like I like that or EP for me. You know what I'm saying? Because of the whole point,
Okay.
those EP really is just connecting the money, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
making sure you find the right investors. You know what I'm saying? To go ahead and say that this creative project will be profitable for you,
Yeah.
and the why, right? So,
Yeah.
but with producers, they're a little bit more hands-on. You know what I'm saying? So I can definitely see myself being the person that connects with production, the actors, the city. You know what I'm saying? All
Mhm.
at once. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So I can wear a lot of different hats. So I see both of those for me, and
You
I
wear a
have
lot of
some really
hats,
good
bro.
mentors. So I can, yeah, I can see that me going there. So as far as the Shy, I mean, like it's very successful right now, bro. So to be honest with you, like realistically, I could see it going to 10 seasons. You know what I mean?
Oh
So,
yeah.
and that would be
Oh
incredible.
yeah.
You know, the fact that we did 2 million streams out the gate that first episode for season 7. Somebody's
Man.
watching, even if it ain't in Chicago. You know what I mean?
Uh,
So like it's funny to me though when I run into people from Chicago and never heard of this show. But that's okay though. That just means that it's my job to introduce them to this project. You know what I'm saying? So
that's crazy.
um,
Cause
yeah, man, that is
what's crazy about it is the people I know that watch the show and ask me questions, and that's why I be so hard on the show because they be asking me, is it really like that in Chicago or is it blase? Because they be tuning in because Chicago is so hot right now. I don't care where you go, overseas, anywhere in America. It's like they want to know what's going on in Chicago. We kind of set the trend. Um, Sometimes it's negative, but we set the trend on a lot of stuff. Period. Always have, and they always ask me about Chicago and uh, uh how accurate is the shot, and for the most part, I let them know. I say, oh, the script writing, is pretty accurate. Like, like the location's accurate. That's the city. Um, so I got a question though that I got to ask you about the shot. Knowing your
what's
music
up.
background and all the music background for all the people that's in the shot. Um, if you had a chance to put together a group consisting from the people from the cast of the Shy, who would be in the group and what would you name the group?
Okay, so we
All
talking about just the cast of the Shy.
Yeah, the Shy cast members. If you had a chance to put together a group,
You said what now? I'm so sorry. Say
if
that
you had
again.
a chance to put together a group, a
Yeah.
music group with using the cast
Okay.
of the Shy, who would be in the group and what would be the name of the group?
That's crazy. Obviously Jacob Lattimore. He can sing his
Okay,
ass off.
facts.
Um,
Yeah.
Luke is it's not a joke.
So who
Luke
would be
is
the
not
lead
a joke.
singer?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Well,
Um,
first name me the group first. I'm sorry, name me the group first.
I'm trying to think if anybody else can really sing.
We got Jacob Lattimore. We got
You
we
got
got
Jacob,
Luke.
you got
That's
Luke.
me.
Uh, Damn, that's
Oh,
them two. But
Rev. You got Rev. The new Rev. Young Rev. Rev.
oh yeah,
My
Ratomi,
dog. I'm so sorry for getting his name. Oh my God.
his name too. Ratomi.
God damn. Yeah,
I
Ratomi.
apologize if anybody from the
Me
Shy
too,
is watching
man.
this.
We apologize. we want you on the show, my brother. We apologize, brother. We need you on the
Ratomi,
podcast. Yeah,
I think so yeah,
that's
you put them
me.
three together. I don't remember any of the girls actually like really being good singers.
They just look good though. You can put the red bone. What's red bone name?
Wait, hold on. I think Genesis can sing.
Which one is that?
She's the one that plays Maisha. She's the one that plays Maisha, Kevin's girlfriend. So a young
Oh,
girl. Like,
oh
yeah,
yeah.
she can sing.
Okay.
So dang, I'm trying to think of anybody else. Ooh, that's a tough one. Hey, look, even them four is like a four horsemen. So
That's
like,
hard. That's hard.
that's hard.
Like, yeah,
Because you can
and
interchange them all. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
What about Bart Fitzpatrick that y'all brought back?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and that's my stepsister
Me,
cousin too.
bro.
The small world
I
too.
had
Yeah, yeah.
no idea. Yeah, I had no idea, bro. And he's a hey,
He's a
when you watch
talented
the
dude.
show,
Yeah,
he's a very talented dude and one of the most like humble people that I've ever met. You know
that's
what I'm
crazy.
saying? Like he's a really down to earth dude. It's funny because you see these characters play super ruthless, right?
Yeah,
They just straight
yeah,
kill people. You know?
yeah,
So, but him, Cortez Smith, and my guy that played Duda,
yeah,
like
yeah.
three of the most chill people you'll ever meet.
That's
You know what
crazy.
I mean? Like
They can act.
super chill.
They can
You know,
act.
but they can act.
They
They can
can
act
act.
their ass off. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
cause you hate them.
And I'm not gonna front. Man. It took. Yeah.
I
Hey, look,
mean, that's what you're
I
supposed to
get people.
do.
Yeah, you know how you get people to comment. You know what I'm saying on like the show or whatever.
Yeah,
Like, and they'll tell me in the heartbeat whether it's in my feed or they'll tell me in person. They're like, man, I hate that fucking.
yeah.
I hate you for that. It's like, yo, bro, we're just I'm sure me and Ted at least talked once where he's like, man, I get approached and somebody talking like Nook real out here, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I understand. I
So
understand. You know what I
so
mean?
what would you
Um,
name this group? If you had these cats, you got Jacob, you got Fitzpatrick, you got Perry, you got Luke, you got some peoples on there, man.
yeah, I can't name it Fantastic Four. Marvel already got that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's who you. That's who you.
what's the sister company? Oh, it's all good. Shit.
Phone now.
You know what? You so
On
funny.
on phone
I
now.
was gonna say Tess. I was no. You know what I'm gonna call him? No, I got a name for you, bro. I was gonna say Tess. TES. The Eloquent Society.
See that's why you Tim
See, right
Mathews,
on
man.
top of
See how
the
fast you did
dome.
that.
Yeah.
You see how fast you just did that, man. Now you all you gotta do is just package it up, get them a deal. Matter of fact, tell Jacob Latimer, his father, Cersei, he got the record label. They already got it. Tell him let's put it together, man. You already executive, man. Let's wrap it up. Test. It's going down. I can see it, man. Oh man.
You gotta run that back. You gotta run that back Tish first. So
Yeah,
we'll
you got to
figure
run
that
about
out.
that first. But they don't even know they're a group until they hear this interview. Then they gonna be like, "Wow, we a group." They don't even know that they put together. You know what I'm saying? Oh man,
Yeah.
that's dope. A testimony.
I would hope.
Oh, the first
I would
single,
hope.
testimony. Come on now,
Tess,
we come on now. Tell when we get together, stop playing. Hey, I gotta say something too. We ain't brought up one inspirational person I think that was in both of our lives because he was like one of the first persons, first people that I seen do a movement. Like as far as like out of Chicago, making a movement, trying to be a superstar. Dougie,
who you talking?
Dougie,
My cousin?
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
My
Dougie.
my cousin.
Rest in
Look,
peace, man.
rest in peace. My cousin Doug. I haven't heard that name in so long.
Man,
He got a son that just looked just like him that stay in Minnesota. But my cousin Marcus,
wow.
man, the spitting image of Dougie. Inspirations. You talk about early inspirations, right?
Yes.
My cousin Dougie was, a rapper, a dancer, a gangbanger. like
Yeah.
my cousin Dougie in my
Man.
life was, you know what I'm saying? And then of course, like Mr. Francis, there was the community center leader on the west side of Chicago that also kept me out of trouble.
Yeah.
There was my cousin from marriage that he has pharmaceutical sales of a different kind,
Yeah.
and what I'm saying,
Yeah.
kept me out of trouble as well. He gave
Yeah.
me real money to stay out of trouble. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? There was my you remember my boy Carl? I mean, Carl put that entrepreneur in me, bro.
Yeah.
Carl McGee
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I used to go house parties when I was a teenager. I had all the rappers coming through. Do or
Yes,
Die,
sir.
Crucial Conflict.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
We
it was
remember.
crazy.
Yep.
I
Scrap
remember,
Dirty,
yeah.
DJ Scrap Dirty, everybody,
And then
man. We can rob.
but now I think if I'm not mistaken, he runs a DJ coalition out in New York. Like
Yeah,
he's the man
violators.
out in New York from a DJ
Violators.
standpoint, man.
Yeah.
That's
Lord.
right. He's with Chris Lighty.
Yeah.
R.I.P. with Chris Lighty.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but he's a part of Violator Management. You know what I'm saying? So, but he started in throwing parties with me, DJing my parties back in high school.
It's crazy.
So, I've got a price, bro. Like all the things and all the people I've been through, it's
Come
been a
on, man.
culmination. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, T? Like what's made my job easier so much on the shy is the simple fact that like your network, right?
Yes,
So I
sir.
know so many people. And sometimes when I need something, I can just go to my database
Yep.
versus, you know what I'm saying, like struggling. Like I don't struggle in this position. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. If they throw me something, I don't know, a junkyard, then it's like, oh, shit, I don't know nobody that runs a junkyard. But
Right,
for the
right.
most part, I
For
say
them
80% of the things that I read,
right.
I can tap it either
Right.
directly or indirectly. You know what?
Because
So
with you is all in reach, 6 degrees of separation.
yeah,
Because, like say, you being born and raised in Chicago and not just you really tapped into the city. Like you say, Dougie, who was our inspiration, he lived a real life, man. Like rest in peace to Dougie. Like we seen Dougie go through ups, downs, everything. We see him put together a marketing scheme. We see him the first person that put together a real campaign to uh try to get put out there. You know what I'm saying? So Dougie was like So like I say, and then like rest in peace of your moms, your
Yep.
brother's situation, everything you like you said you went through a lot. So when they ask you for something, the pressure really not that much for you, and you can always come through because you can always tap into somebody.
It's so funny you say that, bro, because of the whole point that like I tell people when they're going through something, you know what I'm saying? There's always somebody that is going through something even more than you. So tap into that thought. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I went away for college and my house burned down.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Like,
Come on
you
now.
know,
Yeah,
my mom died. You know what I'm saying? And I was the one that had to, pull the. That was my decision to let her live. You know what I'm
I
saying?
remember.
On life
Yep.
support.
Yes,
You know what I
sir.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
there are things that I went through so young. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like I'm so thankful for my experiences. Of
Yeah.
course, obviously, there's a solemn thought about them, but like I'm so thankful for these experiences, bro.
Look,
So like because it builds character building. You know what I
that's
mean?
why I wanted to bring it back because like you were telling your story, and I don't want people to think that it just came like overnight. Like they just see you like you chilling now, and you got this dream job, and you got your dream girl, and you sipping drinks with umbrellas in it, and they don't know the whole path. You know what I mean? They got to know the whole story because we grew up together, Tim. We started up together,
Yep.
man. We two kids from the west side of Chicago, man. So that's why you on the show. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
the moves you made, and you always try to give back and help people. You always try to bring people up before you even you. And matter of fact, you're not even on yet, like you're gonna be on. Trust me. But you
That
always
part.
bringing
That
people up. You got your brother. We could talk about your brother who signed with Twister, Grits, David, Pin Gang. Happy
Yep.
birthday, belated birthday. Like it's just so many people that, and they all look up to you. They always looked up to you, Tim. You always been this big brother figure when you be. I mean, when you was little in stature, but you big, you huge.
I'm 6'5". Yo, T, I'm
Six
6'5"
five,
in attitude. So
6'5", Jack.
in attitude, I can't hang with all those big dogs. I ain't worried about it.
That's right.
So, but but hey, man, I may have to wrap this episode. My apologies.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's cool. No,
Um,
no, man. I talk your ear off, man. I got a lot of
no,
footage,
you and
Jack.
I can talk for hours.
Got a
You and
lot
I
of
can talk
footage,
for
Jack.
hours. Already.
And you coming back? You'll be back. We'll be back. Don't worry about it.
I
Hey,
hope so.
I got
Let's do a
I
part
got
two.
one more thing I gotta say before you leave. Now,
Yes, sir. I'm with you.
one of my best friends I grew up with is Wood Harris, right?
You said what now, bro?
One of my best friends who I grew up with is Wood Harris, the actor.
Wow, that's right.
Like,
You did
like,
an interview with him, man. I love his work.
look. So I already told him I was interviewing you, and you work with the Shy and all that. And I'm just saying, I want you to be the person that put that play through when Wood Harris get put on the Shy for a season, the next season, the next 3 seasons. Now you said we go last season 10. You already put it out
Yeah,
there.
I feel like it's gonna be 10. Yeah.
So we gonna put him on there for 3 seasons. Bring him back home, and I want you to be the one that put the play in, man. Like you need to be the one that make that happen, man. Like so they can know who you are, man. Shout out to Showtime, but they need to know who Tim Mathews is, man.
Thank you for that. And I'm sure, like, I'm not the only person that loves Wood's work. So I will. All I can say to that is that Wood Harris, sir, you make sure you get my information from T, because I would love to connect with you. And more importantly, you and your brother Steve are
Yes, sir.
Chi-Town's finest. And
Yes, sir.
I would love to go ahead and at least make a meeting happen. That's all I can say to
Yes,
that.
sir.
I never try to make promises out here, T. You know what I'm saying? That's the one
Oh
thing that
yeah.
also saves me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't under promise. You know what I'm saying? It's the best way
Right.
to do things. So that way it's like surprise, surprise, this happened. You know what I mean?
I'm the
So
opposite. I'm just gonna throw it out there, and if it don't happen, I just eat the cake.
but you speaking it
But
into
but
existence.
I just throw it out there. Like if it don't happen, it must be some strange. It must. If I throw it out there and it don't happen, it wasn't meant to happen. That's how I look at it.
Copy
If
it.
I don't throw it out there, then I don't know. But if I throw it out there and it don't happen, it wasn't meant to happen. Because if I feel like I throw it out
That
there, it's gonna happen. Like me, I wasn't giving up on this interview. I'm like, hold on, man. You could, when you look at this interview again from the beginning, you gonna see me say, hold tight. We gonna keep trying. gonna happen. God's will is gonna happen. So that's how I feel. But look, as far as would
Hey,
it be here? Would it be
you
here?